Pezzetta in tougher. Fly away. Cuts in the middle, scores.
So, what the hell? What is going on with my camera? Okay, I think we're good. So that was an eventful day. I didn't think that there were enough free agents to make today interesting. The well is kind of dry, but we saw some cool stuff today, and we have some things to talk about. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, he looked up his mustache today. I just wasn't feeling it, so
it's kind of a bittersweet day for me. Not just because of those who we lost along the way. I'm actually specifically thinking about Joel Armia, but also Christian Dvorak, and I'm feeling a little bit of FOMO over Logan Mailloux. But I'm basically putting the finishing touches of how I feel about today into my brain, into my head computer, and I don't know how I feel about it. But we'll get to that. First of all, if you're new here and you're not subscribed, I would love if you hit that subscribe button. We're like, what, 500, 600 subscribers away from 15,000 subscribers? That's huge. I thought, if we hit 15,000 before the end of the summer, then we'd be on pace to keep going with how we've been going. But I honestly think if we just had like one banger video, we could do it right there. Those of you who are already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that like button, helps me out with visibility, something. Yeah, something with YouTube. So some transactions were made today. Christian Dvorak, gone. He found the bag, a $5.4 million contract with the Flyers. Michael Pezzetta, gone. Signed with Toronto for 2 years at $1.575. That's total, not per year. And Joel Armia going to LA, 2 years, $2.5 million AAV. Yeah, that one stings for me. Also, Caden Primo, he's gone. Dealt to the Hurricanes at the league minimum, I think, $775 for 1 year. So they're testing him out. And then there's a bunch of things going on with Laval that I don't know how to feel about. I believe Alex Barré-Boulet is an unrestricted free agent right now. Simoneau Gignac went across the pond, I think. Offenmeyer did not receive a contract. I think there's someone I'm missing. So there's things that feel like they're in flux to me. But what's come our way and is very positive is that we've obtained Zach Bolduc. Zach Bolduc is 22 years old. He's 6 feet tall, 187 pounds. He's from Trois-Rivières. He shoots left. He was drafted by St. Louis in 2021, 17th overall. Played 25 games in 23-24 and played 72 games just this past season, plus some playoff time. So a legitimate NHL ready forward with edge for Logan Mailloux. So I want to start off by saying right off the cuff, Montreal wins this trade. This is a winning trade. St. Louis takes all of the risk. Logan Mailloux has identified that he has a lot of upside and can play at the NHL level, albeit he has some defensive shortcomings. He has some defensive shortcomings in the AHL as well. But I can't help but experience some sort of fear of missing out with Logan Mailloux. He's a right-handed D. If Montreal had demonstrated that he could play at the NHL level and excel, his value skyrockets. But because we've lost these individuals to free agency, because we have traded Emil Heineman, there is pressure for the team to find those forwards that fit in those spots. And Bolduc is going to do excellent at replacing Heineman easily. But can he fill in for Armia? Can he fill in for Dvorak? And I think he can. And I think that's what it comes down to. A no-brainer trade. And I like what Sam Marceau said on Twitter. Do we really want to hold on to defensemen right now when the spots are getting filled up? And if we have the choice between Reinbacher and Mailloux right now, maybe not in so many words, but does Mailloux fit the image of the organization? I think that's arguable. I think that's really arguable. But again, why take the risk? And then also Montreal has acquired Kaapo Kähkönen. Kähkönen, he's been traveling. I have maybe more reasonable problems with this acquirement. He's $1.15 million for a year. I think it's still little risk, but Hayden Primo was cheaper than that. And I don't know, personally, I think Primo has demonstrated better, results than Kakkonen. Yeah, he was on the Devils, Sharks, Panthers, Jets, and then now just picked up by Montreal. So 4 teams this season and then acquired in free agency on July 1st. So it just makes me wonder why they didn't stick with Primo. I think that a good explanation for it is that Primo needed a change of scenery. This is a mercy by Habs management to move him, try him somewhere else. If he creates a spark and the spark creates a fire, you never know what'll happen. Because as it is right now, they want to instill confidence in Montembeault, of course, but in Dobesh. Maybe Dobesh needs a little bit of a pat on the back and momentum and saying, hey, there's not this guy waiting on the doorstep, waiting for you to fail so that he can get his shot and his opportunity again. So that's how I feel about that. But how do I feel about the entire situation? Well, let me pour my guts out here and tell me if I'm being irrational. But I think after today and watching some of the teams, like I feel knock it out of the park with filling holes in their roster, with filling holes in their lineup. I just feel like Montreal again is going to have a bit of a tough time. So we know who the first line is. We have Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slav. The second line, Demidov, is the bright spot, of course, but we still don't have our second line center. Let's say Kirby Dach is going to be our second line center again this season. And then we have Patrik Laine again filling in on the wings. So Demidov injected in there. Is that going to be enough? Because Kirby Dach and Patrik Laine playing together last season, positive results were few and far between. So that is a question mark still. Now on the third line, who centers the third line? Actually, you know what? To make this easier, let's pretend Brendan Gallagher, Jake Evans, and Josh Anderson are the third line. Who do we have left over for the fourth line? Well, we have Zach Bolduc, which I don't think he's going to be like at the bottom of our lineup, but just for the sake of conversation here, Alex Newhook, and then we can try some guys out. We can have Oliver Kapanen in there. We can have Owen Beck. Does Joshua Wall get another chance? He looked really flat this season. Does Florian Xhekaj get a shot? Could he fill in for Alex Newhook, perhaps? That doesn't worry me so much as the second line center thing and maybe bolstering the Jake Evans, Josh Anderson, Brendan Gallagher line. So in our forward lineup, I still feel like there are 3 question marks. And that worries me. Should that worry me? Is that too much? Now, in terms of the defensive pairings, not so concerned. Caden Gooley, Noah Dobson, Mike Matheson, Lane Hudson, Alex Carrier, Jaden Struble, Arber Xhekaj, Reinbacher. Does Adam Engstrom get an opportunity this season? Maybe filling in for someone who is day-to-day or something like that. The defensive pairings excite me. I feel excited. I want to see what they're going to do. And I can only almost picture good things happening there. The thing is, I did the math and I might have made a mistake, but the team has gotten smaller. They've only gotten an inch smaller and a few pounds smaller as well. But they were already considered a small team. And it was that a few players were propping them up to be a bigger team than what they were, like Joel Armia. So I still have concerns, but I'm sure that these concerns are also the concerns of Habs management, unless I'm way off. So you'll have to forgive me. I really, really just want to celebrate the addition of Dobson, the addition of Bolduc, but there's still obviously work to be done. And it frustrates me somewhat to say, hey, Patrik Laine and Kirby Dach didn't work last season, but what if we throw Ivan Demidov in the mix? Does he suddenly make them start working? Well, I don't want to have to pressure Ivan Demidov to say, hey, make these guys start working, make this line start working. That's not a recipe for success. To me, I feel like they should be trying to set him up to win. It reeks of when they tried to put Slav on the second line to see if Slav could make a change there, and it just bombed.
We could all use a clean sheet sometimes.
Anyway, again, I have concerns. Enough with the doom and gloom, because I do see things improving. And what smacks me in the face is that, yeah, we lost some good PK guys. Dvorak, Armia. Oh crap, there was Savard as well. Dang it, I was going to say at least we have individuals to replace those PK guys, but that's not true either. Dang. Okay. I've got a lot of thoughts about this. I'm going to have to do maybe a separate video where I go even deeper into this because we're already at like, what, 10 minutes for this video? Yeah, I might have to do like a members only, like a stream of thought about where we're at with the lineup now that we know kind of what to expect. So if you're not a member and you'd like additional content from this channel, I never plug this, but you can become a member. I do members only videos. You get special emojis. You get like a badge next to your name, depending on how long you have been a member. It's really neat. Sometimes I do polls that I only do with members, talking about merchandise for like the upcoming season, for example. But there is something that I want to leave you with, and I just want to kind of share with you all. It's never fun losing players that you're familiar with. And it pained me a little bit to see, obviously, Armia leave. I'm a big fan of Armia. I'll never forget the time that he lost his stick and he came up huge with like 5 defensive plays without his stick, booting the puck out of the zone, taking players out.
New league that you play hockey without a stick. I'm drafting Joel Armia top 5 in my new league. Watch your work here.
But awareness, he understood Carey doesn't have a stick.
He truly was a one-man Armia. And even Christian Dvorak, who was a weird character on the team. He wasn't like the fun, smiling type, but he and Cole Caulfield shared a special relationship. I don't know if I want to put it in those terms, but they were roommates together. I'm not saying this is like a Ernie and Bert situation, but you know, they were good friends. It keeps the locker room vibes high when you have friends on the team. So I'm sure the guys are hurting to see their friends leaving. Pezzetta, say what you will about Pezzetta and how much he really chipped in, but there's been some classic Pezzetta moments. Emil Heineman, of course, will reflect fondly on how he disobeyed traffic rules and got himself run over in, where was it again? Utah? Caden Primo, you were rooting for him, but he was so hot and cold. And when he was cold, he was really cold. So I just want to commiserate with you, pour one out for the homies tonight. Let me know in the comments down below who you're missing and how you're feeling. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Thank you for the kind words about my recent, what do they say? Recent matrimony, recent vows. Yeah, I got married this past weekend and it went beautifully. Better than I could have imagined it. It was a 70% chance of rain and we had no rain. So that was huge. Shared it with just some really close family members. Was not a big ceremony, was not a big reception, but that's how we wanted to do it, I ate so many lobster rolls. That was good. Food was great. So I hope you're all doing well. Take care of yourselves. Hope you had an amazing Canada Day, by the way. And you know what to do. Like the video. It helps me out with search results. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I would love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.